Hey everyone, today's video is I'm going to try on my new purchase from Australis Highlight and Contour Kit. So first of all, I'm just going to apply my Toned Miracle foundation from Lancome, and I also use the Miracle Concealer Pen to conceal, also using it as kind of like a creamy highlighter base. And then I'm just using my beauty blender, blend everything in. After that, I'm going to use the contour and highlight kit. Right, so now I've finished doing my foundation and the concealer. Let's move on to this actual palette. So what I think of this palette so far is I really like these three highlighting powder. Contour pad, I found it's really pigmented. You have to be really careful how much product you're actually putting onto your skin. If you put too much on, it's really hard to blend it out. And I also found this color, the cool tone kind of brown color. I thought it would be a really good contour color for my skin tone, because I used the Lancome one, which is a very similar cool tone color. I just show you the palette here. So you can see from here, the Lancome one I've used so much, and it's very similar color. But for some reason, this one works really good on my skin. But this one here, I found it's really muddy and really dirty on my skin, and I couldn't really use this. I have to use the warm shade here. So I usually use that one. This one and this one is really not so much difference. So what I'm going to do is, I've done the concealer and the foundation here. I'm just going to use my beauty blender, the pointed part, and I'm going to dip into this banana shade, the more like a yellow toned. So I'm going to use that to set underneath my eyes. I have tried to use like a brush, but I found I prefer use this beauty blender, and because the pointed shape, pointed end on the side is real easy to get into the inner corner. So I'm just using this as like a underneath eye setting powders, so you can really see it is kind of highlighting this area as well. And I'm going to put a little bit just on top of my nose, in the bridge of my nose. And on my chin. And then here underneath the cheekbone, I'm going to do the contour here. But around here, I'm going to place a little bit highlight. So that will make the contour stronger, stands out a lot more. And then on top of my forehead, a brow bone here, and in the center of my forehead. I'm going to pick up a little bit of product, and I'm going to get rid of most of the product. And I'm just going to say, the first place I'm going to put is underneath my cheekbone, and I'm going to start at the end, right next to the ear. So usually it's the place in the middle of your ear and towards your mouth. So I'm going to start from here, because that's the place you need the most, and then you can work your way out towards your mouth. But don't bring it too far out. You do it close to the ear first, because this is the place you need the most of the product. By the way, this is the MAC 168 brush. And I'm going to do a little bit on this side. Just to create a shadow underneath the cheekbone. So because you have shadow here and highlight here, so makes your cheekbone stands out a lot more. Give you a more defined look. and I want to have a little bit in here to narrow my chin, to make it look, I have a little bit smaller chin on here. You see it's really pigmented. I just put a little bit too much on here and I have to blend it out. I have to go back with my foundation and just put a little bit more on. And I'm going to put a little bit on my forehead. Obviously when you're doing contouring, is not everyone need to place the contour at exactly the same place. If you think your forehead is too large, you want to make them look a little bit smaller, you can put them on the side on top of your, if your forehead is too long, you put some on, on top of your forehead. If you have a really, if you feel your chin is too wide, too big, then you do a little bit contour to make them a little bit smaller. If your chin is too long, then you place your contour here to create kind of like a shadowy look in here to make it look a little bit shorter. But my chin is not too long. I just want to slim, on these two sides. That's why I put contour shade on here, and I don't have a really defined cheekbones. That's why I put contour underneath my cheekbone, just to make it a little bit just to pop out my cheekbone a little bit more. Because I'm obviously Asian I am obviously Asian, and Asian usually have more kind of a flat, rounder face, instead of European people have more deep set eyes, more kind of defined cheekbones, where like me, I don't have those kind of features. I'm just going to lightly dust it. I don't need too much product. Okay. If you have like double chins, you feel here is quite chubby, quite fat, you put some more around here. Just to create more like a shadowy look. The last thing I wanted to do, I usually contour my nose a little bit, so I'm going to find a brush. I'm going to use this Lancome blending brush. It has a really tapered end, and because it's a blending brush, so it doesn't actually pick up too much of the product. So I'm just going to have one dab into the product, and I'm going to take some off on my hand, because oh my god, you don't know how pigmented is this contour shade, so I really don't want too much product. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on both sides of my nose, and then underneath the tip of my nose. And I'm going to use that same brush. I am going to pick up this highlight color. This is like a kind of pinky shimmery highlight. So I'm going to use that on top of my cheekbone here as like a highlight. The banana shade I use, which is matte finish, so I want a little bit shimmer on top of my cheekbones, because I like that kind of glowing finished skin. So I'm just going to use that. And underneath my brow bone here. And then in the center and on the bridge of my nose. It really reflects the light. And then on the tip of my nose. And then on the cupid's bow. Just wherever I have placed the banana shade. And then also on top of my brow. and then in the center of my forehead, just like so. So you can see here, really catch the light. And then I'm going to apply a little bit blush. I'm just going to use this Lancome one. It's called Nectar. This is the highlight, contour and blush in one kit. So because in here I have the contour shade in here, and you can see the highlight here. I want to have like a kind of gradual gradient effect from the contour here, and then gradually fade into the blush and then fade into that highlight here. So I'm just gonna place the blush in between the highlight and the contour shade. So this is side with the blush, and this side I haven't applied the blush yet. So you can see the difference from here. It fades into the blush and then goes to the highlight. I'm going to put a little bit more. So this is the finished look.